trying to educate people to open up their mind and start getting their mindset right about working on yourself for a year. And really with MelFit, if we look back at our client list, most people are doing it correctly. Most people are starting with my 3-day detox. It's a really inexpensive way to get your feet wet with MelFit. It's $29.99 a month, or they're starting on the app for $1 a day. They're getting on the phone with me for a free consultation, and then I'm putting them where they need to be. I think I'm doing people a disservice if I put them somewhere where they're not ready. That would be setting you up for failure. So I can tell within about 5 minutes of talking to someone where they need to be. And I think that what I really want to focus on this year is teaching people to take it at a slower pace and not have your emphasis be on the finish line, because it's really the journey that's beautiful. Don't you think, Lisa? I mean,
that's the whole point, is to keep going, because you want to improve your life.
Yeah.
And you don't really want to rush to the end of your life. So you're trying to improve your life while you're here.
Yeah. And if you are a MelFit client, you can attest to this. When you get there, it doesn't surprise you because of the work you did during your journey, right?
Right, and each step along the way too, you have successes. So you're just building upon your knowledge and your successes. So it's not surprising when you get there, but it also feels good because you put in a lot of work and energy and effort to make the program work for you and your lifestyle, and you feel so much better about the whole process.
Yes, agreed. So I just want to welcome everyone who jumped on today. And if you have to jump on for any reason, we'll give you instructions on how to watch this at a later date. And if you missed the first one, we had a lot of people on who shared their experience about MelFit, and we did a little worksheet. And if you are joining this and you don't have this, let us know. And Josh, actually, can you share the link? Josh will share the link for you guys right there so you can print it. Don't feel lost if you don't have a printer. Don't stress out. We'll go along these together. And what Lisa and I were thinking about doing is we really just love a discussion of real people making real changes with MelFit. So we're going to dive into her story first. Then we're going to ask for a lot of audience participation. Oh, thank you, Josh, on the questions. So if you jump on here, say hello. And I see there's 7 people on here. So say hello. Don't be a ghost. So this is for you guys, just to help you guys just stay motivated in your new year. Oh, yay, we do have hellos. We have Vanessa, Angela. So I'm pretty sure that Vanessa and Angela both said that they were willing to share an answer. So I don't know, how many questions did we have, Josh? A dozen maybe. So yeah, thanks you guys. And don't worry if you are nervous about sharing an answer. We're not going to ask you to come on camera. You don't have to worry what you look like. If there's noise in the background, all you'll have to do is type. So thank you everyone for being here. So I probably won't have to give Lisa very much guidance or cues. I feel like she has a lot of experience talking to people. She is a real estate attorney. Is that how you would say your title? So she's definitely has some great communication skills. So let's just kind of start with the beginning. So I really want you to talk about this because I've met a couple people this week that were in the same boat. where were you before we met? What was going on with you? She was no slacker when we met, but.
Yeah, well, I have, I like felt like, I've been trying to lose weight all my life. I go through the cycles and different things like that. But over the past year, couple of years, probably since the pandemic, I was working out really hard. I do have a fitness habit that I had developed from running, and now I'm doing Pilates, and I'm worked out, 7 days a week. I keep up with my steps and do things like that, but I was not making any progress in my weight loss goals. I was just pretty much yo-yoing back and forth, gaining and losing the same 5 pounds, staying in the same decade, and it just was frustrating and made me feel like I was spinning my wheels. So I heard about MelFit from a company who advertised in one of your magazines, Good Juice Company.
Oh, yeah, Melissa.
And so I started
Good job.
following Mel in the spring of last year to kind of, and looked at her Instagram reels and kind of followed along. And I was a little bit intimidated. I wasn't sure if I knew I needed to do something else. Obviously, what I was doing was not working. So that meant I had to change something, but I wasn't sure what needed to be changed. I knew my nutrition needed to be improved, the quality of my nutrition. I also have a lot of autoimmune issues. And so I kind of waffled back and forth in the summertime, and then I finally went ahead and contacted Mel in October and said, tell me about your program, and decided, and I also thought that maybe MelFit was not as sustainable as that would be a long term. So but I was like, oh, I can do anything for 12 weeks and see how this goes and give it a try. Talked to Mel and signed up, and really within like a couple of weeks, I recognized that, what? This was filling in the hole that I needed as far as knowing what to eat, not having to put a lot of energy and effort into figuring out what the grocery list was going to be, setting up the menu, that I could just follow the plan. And then it was something, the food is delicious, and that was something that I can do long term. And now I can't really imagine doing things any other way. And so I was really surprised because I wasn't sure at first. But again, I thought I could do anything for 12 weeks. And I did also like the fact that I started in November. So I really like the fact that I began this year down and lost weight in November and December. And I even went on a vacation for a week during that time. And so it's really been something really enjoyable. And now I'm ready to sign up for my next 12-week boot camp and see what else I can do.
So I just want to encourage anyone watching, if you guys have any questions or comments for Lisa, this webinar is for everyone, so please participate. So my question to you, Lisa, is how many weeks do you feel like it took you to make it a habit? Like, I know at first it's a little weird to go from what you're doing and what you're eating and what you're cooking to an actual plan. Like, when do you think it clicked for you and you just thought,
it was, the first couple of weeks are a little bit difficult because you're getting different kinds of food that you haven't had before, and you're trying to figure out where are the cocoa and that, cocoa minos, and what the heck is that? And can I get that at Fred's, or can I get it at Pilgrim's, or what am I going to do? And then you're cooking all these new recipes, and thankfully, we have the meal prep videos so you can watch, how things are done. But, it is something, for most of us is going to be totally different from what we were doing before. But really, it just did, what you said in the materials is like, trust the plan, follow the plan. And probably within about 4 weeks or so that I was basically already, once I got through Thanksgiving, it was like, okay, this is really doable and it's really working. And it's helping me to feel better and I'm making good progress. And so you just have to get through that little learning curve. And sometimes it is still kind of scary and intimidating and things like that. Or as Mel tells me to stay in my lane because sometimes I think I should do something differently. And that's why I hired her to help me.
Yeah. Well, I respect you for that because we're both, two, high performing entrepreneurs and strong personalities. So it's really cool to get to the point in your life where you can accept help from another business professional and accept that I know what I know, but if I need help with real estate transactions, legalities, then I call Lisa. So a couple things I want to touch on. One is I get this question all the time, Lisa, and it doesn't matter if it's a mom that's married with little kids or whether it's Lisa, who has probably been an empty nester for forever with just her and her husband at home. The biggest question I get is, what about my husband? Because I'm married to a Hispanic man, and my husband doesn't treat me like, he doesn't expect that I cook for him, but it is my love language and I know he appreciates it. And as long as he says thank you, I'll do it. But it's a big deal in a lot of households, for men, especially. If you're a man watching this, it actually could be women, because I meet a lot of women who don't know how to cook and that the men cook. So it could be either one. So how do you transition from a woman who was probably, I'm assuming, cooking most of the meals to this?
Well, my husband and I have the same job in our professional lives. He is my law partner. And so we have the same jobs at home. Everybody can do everything just like at the office, although we do, kind of tend to go into traditional roles. And so we have a couple nights a week that you just eat what you can find depending
She
on
called
the
it
schedule.
grazing.
Yes, it's grazing.
I was imagining charcuterie
Yeah,
boards.
you can call it grazing. It's basically like find whatever you find. I have a friend who grew up on a farm and they called it root hog or die.
Oh, geez.
So
I love it. So is it a specific day of the week that you graze?
yeah, it's usually like Mondays and then like
That's
Thursdays.
That's cute, grazing.
So, and then my husband would cook a couple nights and I would cook a couple nights, but and I was a little concerned on how that was gonna work. And of course the food is delicious, so it's very easy to persuade other people to eat it in the household. And then the thing that he was a little worried about was eating the same thing all the time, which I took care of by just, you eat breakfast for dinner some nights, lunch for dinner, dinner for lunch, dinner for breakfast.
I had my gluten-free pumpkin waffles last night with Lakanto syrup and almond butter, and I honestly was having a stressful day, so I felt like a little bit comforted. It was like my healthy comfort food.
Yep.
And Amy Lou's sausages, so yeah.
Yeah.
Although it does remind me of being poor growing up, I just get over that. Yeah.
Just enjoy it.
Yeah, I love that. So you also mentioned that your husband had reservation. Oh, also I wanted to acknowledge, I think this is Dusty on here, right? That said she started, we think it's you, Dusty. I can't see your name. Hang on just a second here. Yeah, I think it is you, Dusty. It's just saying GP on there. Oh yeah, she said, yes, it's just me. So Dusty, I love that you acknowledge that you also started in November. and you lost 16 pounds before you went on a vacation to Vegas, and you were messaging me and we were trying to figure out how to get something healthy-ish at Chick-fil-A. And I feel like for most people, the first 2 weeks, it'll make or break you. If you failed on other plans and you don't get results with us in 2 weeks, it's hard to keep motivation. Let's just face it. We all like results. So, can you kind of talk a little bit about, you didn't have reservations about starting before the holidays, but your husband did.
Yes, and I think he was afraid that, we weren't going to be having the same foods served at the holidays that, he was used to. And it was not a big deal at all for me, because I still could fix like the traditional things like the Chex Party Mix and those kinds of things. And I have no trouble fixing things and not eating them. Or we have, there's a free day. You can eat whatever you want on the free day as long as you stay within your calories.
Sure.
So, once he found out that, we were gonna still have the same things that he was used to, because for a lot of people, food isn't just nutrition and nourishment. It's part of your life, it's part of your family memories. It, has a lot more importance than just fueling your body.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of deal with that. But he was happy because he could still have all the regular stuff.
Yeah. Do you think that by next year, having that year under your belt, Lisa, that you're gonna fall back on that you're gonna remember, if you're getting anxiety about anything, that you're gonna remember, I already did this last year, I can do it again? Is that gonna help your mindset?
Yeah, and also just any like building on the success and having the plans, and because it wasn't that I did not have the knowledge to put together a plan, but I didn't have like 1,000 hours to put together menus and grocery lists and all that kind of stuff. I really needed that help, because a lot of times if my energy is low, or I've spent too much time doing other things, I don't have enough time to take care of myself. So I think having that one part really is what has helped me the most, and that's where I really needed the help. And so it's pretty simple to follow, and you do your grocery shopping, and I spread my meal prep out over a few days because that just works a little bit better for me. It was a little overwhelming to try to do everything in one day.
Yeah, I actually encourage that. There's more than one way to skin a cat, you guys.
Yeah.
I'm in good shape, and if I stand in the kitchen for all of it, so I always recommend, Lisa, like snack dessert Saturday, breakfast lunch Sunday, dinner Monday, and then you're done.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
Yep, I do, pretty much, I will do like, I'll either do breakfast on Monday and then do dinner and lunch on Sunday, or sometimes I'll even do it on one meal on Saturday, one on Sunday. And then kind of work in, I also will sometimes split up the servings, so I'm re-cooking things fresh in the middle of the week, just because sometimes it's faster for me to cook a smaller portion and then know, okay, are we gonna do this? Or, maybe I really like my lunch, so I only want to eat the tuna salad, or, things like that. So, I think the biggest thing is just to be flexible. You can do MelFit anytime. There's no magic formula in like what day of the week do you prepare. It's like whatever you do, what works for you, just follow the plan.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna read a couple things. Dusty says, I turned so many of my MelFit entrees into MelFit friendly at Thanksgiving, and my family gobbled them up and had no idea. I also did it again for 2023 Thanksgiving for close to 30 people, and they had no idea. What's really sad is that people are resistant towards healthy food. That's what I think is sad. I mean, honestly, sometimes I come in and people are like, oh, is that healthy? And yes, these guys agree with breaking the meal prep down. So meal prep down. So the one thing that I think about with you, Lisa, is, reading your check-in week after week, which I really enjoy. I usually always end up having a good laugh, especially at first. I will tell you that MelFit was not a straight line for Lisa, and for most people, it's not going to be a straight line. And actually, that's actually the best thing that can happen to you. Because if you're sitting there expecting every week to be exactly 1 to 2 pounds of weight loss or whatever, it's not a straight line. If you're going from processed foods, or you're skipping meals, or you're eating too much, the first week, you're probably going to lose a lot of weight. I mean, we've had people lose 13. Dusty has a client that lost 13 pounds week 1. It's great, but it's really it really tells a lot about what the person was doing before. And then what'll happen is it'll slow down a little bit. But if you look at your average over the 12 weeks, that really matters. So if you're new, I know Angela Nelson is, don't be so obsessed with every single week being exactly the same. Be obsessed with what you're learning from point A to point Z, and that we just want to make sure that we hit our goal when we get to the finish line. So talk to us a little bit, Lisa, about your line. Was it straight? How did you deal with weeks that were, I don't want to say failures, but in the past, we may have thought it was a failure, but once you get through MelFit, it's actually a blessing because of how you handled it. If you had a so-called bad week, how did it affect you? Did you quit, or did you give up? So, because I know you had some trips and stuff, so.
Yeah, I did. I had some trips. I also, excuse me, I
Feel
had to
free
go
to
on
take a
some.
sip of
Yeah,
your
I
lemon
know,
fog.
I will.
If you guys want this recipe, well, I'm gonna talk while Lisa take a sip, take a sip. So if you don't know what a lemon fog is, it's half hot water, half steamed hemp milk, and I use the Breville frother, and then I used a good quality Earl Grey tea from the Revival Tea Company. They sell it at Yolks. And as a treat, Tirani Pure Made Naturals sugar-free coffee syrup. And it is a treat. There are no calories, but there are carbs. So on the daily, I use stevia, but for special occasion, I use the syrup and some cinnamon. So, okay, go right ahead. And I know you can pick up your thought.
Oh, yes, I can.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess part of it is that I know that I lost over 75 pounds in 2017. And then I had gained back some of the weight over COVID. So I already know that I've been successful at losing weight and keeping most of the weight off. And I also know from my past experience that the scale is not as important as we sometimes make it out to be. My goal is not necessarily to be a certain number. My goal is to be healthy and feel good and be able to do all the things that I want to do. Keep up my activity level, be able to walk around a Disney park 20,000 steps a day for a week, pick up my 50-pound dog if I ever needed to. Those are the kinds of things that are important to me, and to have the energy to do the things that I want to do and that I have to do. So if you have been doing any of this for any length of time on this healthy lifestyle journey, if you only live and die by the scale, you are going to get frustrated and you are going to quit. And by only allowing yourself that one little tiny data point that is just like a point in time, your body's relationship to gravity, if you make that your identity, you're not going to be happy in this process, and it's going to be really hard. So I concentrate on those weeks when the scale numbers were not doing what I wanted them to. I concentrate on other ways to measure my success. And I think one time, I think when I came back from my vacation, I was having trouble with my camera and my scale, being able to take a picture of my feet on the scale for my check-in. And so I just was able to take a picture of the scale number, and I told Mel, well, I hope you recognize my attic floor, and really, who else is gonna claim this number as a fake number?
That's
Because it
funny.
was so high from the water weight that I had gained from traveling and from walking 140,000 steps. My muscles were, retaining water, and, you have to know that, and I know that my body weight fluctuates, so I'm totally comfortable with that now. But if you haven't been through that process and you haven't learned that your body weight fluctuates naturally, if you can't get used, if you haven't had any experience with that, I think it's really easy to get frustrated.
So what happened to you later well, first of all, did you get back on track right away?
I did, and then I immediately pretty much lost I think it was like 7 pounds that I gained. And then I think I lost like 6 pounds the following week. Just from being back on track again, because the other thing is that I knew because of when I was on vacation and eating, I knew, get grilled fish, or, have the vegetables, skip the bread, do the things, but I still had a good time, and I ate what I wanted to, and, I had a great time visiting with a friend, and there was drinks and stuff involved. And, but immediately 6 pounds were gone. So I thought legitimately probably the pound, I did deserve that. I mean, and that's just part of the process.
Yeah. The one thing I've been, if you're watching this and you don't know anything about me, I've been in maintenance for over 20 years. And I remember thinking about constantly obsessing about what I would be missing out on. And the gift that I can give to anybody who's truly followed the program is it's not what you're losing, it's what you're gaining. And when you exercise that muscle a few times, for example, going to a function and doing better than you would have before, being better, you just want to be a better version of your old self. So you practice. Normally, you'd go to a restaurant and you'd get the bread, the main course, and the dessert and a drink. But what if you started with just pushing the bread away? And you go home and you think, oh, wow, I can't believe I pushed the bread away. And then second time you go, maybe you skip the dessert. So I think what I see with people who've been lifers on MelFit, at first they're getting rid of some horrible cravings and years of processed foods. So they need that free day. And that's why I put that there. I don't want to set people up for failure. If you are having a freak out, it's there. But I feel like at first they use it, and then eventually most people will just have like one meal, or if they're on vacation, they kind of end up being more like me, where they watched my YouTubes and my podcasts, Travel Tips Part 1 and 2, and they're getting some stuff to have at their Airbnb, and then they're just having like one meal a day. But I'm gonna pop in here and look and see. Angela says, I love that the food is actually good and makes me feel good. I now understand how it can be a lifelong change. I want to do it beyond the 12 weeks. That's awesome. That's so cool. And honestly, there's no ceiling in MelFit. And the reason that I created things the way I did is because I would go on these, big box gym, do these big box gym challenges. And I would lose 20 pounds just to gain it again, because ultimately what we're all missing in the big picture is a community of support. And that's what this is. It's not just me. Lisa took the time out of her day to come here and support you guys and share her story. And everybody that's on our MelFit Army group, we all want the same thing. It doesn't matter if you're 24 or 94, we all just want better health and wellness. So I'm super, super glad to have this platform for everyone. Dusty says, yes, chose to take pics once a week for myself when maybe weight was slow coming off my body, was changing like crazy. Inches are just as important. Yeah. So, and Vanessa says yes. Or substituting sourdough on a sandwich if you go out. Yeah, cool. And Vanessa says, I love the support. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad you guys feel that, because what we really want for people is long-time support. If you've been chasing shiny objects your whole life and you found something that works, like park your car here forever. So I think what we're gonna do, you guys, is we're gonna ask for audience participation on the question. So who would like to answer question number 1? What is your biggest roadblock? I'm just gonna kind of wait. If we don't get audience participation, I'm gonna call on Josh and Lisa, who would be glad to answer. Okay, Vanessa Burt says I can. Okay. Okay, Vanessa, you go ahead with question number 1, and Angela will have you answer question number 2. So go ahead and type. What is your biggest roadblock? And there's a couple. Okay, can you elaborate on that, Vanessa? Me, myself, and I. What is it that me, myself, and I does to create a roadblock? Andrea, and anybody jump on and answer this. I'm totally fine. We're going to focus on Vanessa's answer, but go ahead and jump on and answer. What do you mean about, can you elaborate on that, Vanessa? And Vanessa, I still want you to answer this. And can you do something to eliminate this roadblock? Okay, negative thinking. Can you do something to eliminate this roadblock? If the answer is no, why? So just go ahead and take some time. You know what? Anyways, there's not a ton of people on here, and I know a lot of people couldn't jump on today because they're at work and they're going to watch it later. So let's just go ahead and have anybody jump on and answer. So Vanessa, if you had support and help, do you think you can eliminate this roadblock? Vanessa says, my mindset has totally changed when I felt like I was dying. So Vanessa, I really was touched by the moment that you and I had when you were at our open house, and I could feel the pain and the trauma from walking around in a body that you don't, it's not you. Like, I still see you. I know you're in there, and I know you're just walking around in a shell that you don't want to be in. Andrea says procrastination to eliminate, set small attainable goals with actions to complete them. And Vanessa said, no, it was not me. Dusty says, I felt like Vanessa as well in the beginning of my MelFit journey. Angela says, my biggest problem has been being a stay-at-home mom, constantly surrounded by temptation and just mindless eating whatever is quick. Yeah, you know what? We always say, Angela, that the moms love the MelFit charcuterie boxes because moms are grazers. So, and believe me, all of those add up. So thank you guys for your transparency. This is lovely. I'll try not to cry. My biggest problem has been okay. Yep, haha, she says. Okay, awesome. So I think I told Vanessa that when she called me, I told my twin sister, who was Vanessa's trainer. She was doing virtual training with my sister Melanie at Vitality Personal Training. We are going to save her life. And we did. And I know that your mindset is so strong right now, Vanessa, that like I understand the person that I talked to 13 weeks ago, she's also on phase 2. It's not the same person that walked in my office like last week. Dusty was the same way. I mean, I grew up with you guys. You guys are my, you know, my homies from the Silver Valley, my homegirls. And I knew that your eyes were there, but you guys were just, you know, hiding behind this unhealthy body and skin and mindset. So oh, Melanie says Vanessa oh, Melanie, you're on here? Okay, cool. I'm glad you're working with Vanessa still. I was not aware of that. So teamwork makes the dream work. So thank you for sharing, Vanessa. So Angela, we're gonna go on to you or anybody that wants to answer. Have you tried things in the past to lose weight? Angela says HCG, keto, short-term anorexia, binge and starve, Weight Watchers, personal trainer for a commercial. I was going to do for hydroxycut. If yes, list the one thing that all these things have in common. Okay. Okay, so I put, if yes, list the one thing all these things have in common. And Angela says, no longevity lifestyle change. Amen, sister. All were short-term solutions with little to no regular accountability. Most were restrictive and or unhealthy. Food was the enemy. Vanessa says she loves us. Thanks, Vanessa. So thank you, Angela. That's great. And I talked to Angela a long time ago, and this is the case for most of the clients that we get, and I never give up on anyone. I don't, you know, there might be financial difficulties, the timing might not be right, their mindset might not be right, but the one thing that I'm gonna do until I die is constantly tell anyone that will listen about MelFit, because my twin sister and I don't want anybody to struggle as long as we struggled. She had a 30-year journey. If you haven't read this MelFit Healthy Times Winter Edition, there is an article on Melanie and Angela. She also gets really vulnerable on not eating on Thanksgiving, starving herself, running, trying to do all the things that she thought would help her lose weight. Dusty says Plexus Slim, True Vision, keto pills, cutting calories, gimmicks, diet, short-term goal for a long-term situation doesn't work. Amen, Dusty, to that. And that is why I am launching my year-long program, because you gotta give it some time. The one thing that's hard for people to receive when I say it, and I am no softie, I am a tough coach. If you hired me to hold you accountable, I'm gonna hold you accountable. I'm not gonna tell you the things you want to hear. I'm gonna tell you the things that you need to hear. And I'm tough. You can't hurt me. You can't break me. You will not hurt my feelings. I am in the best mindset of my life. I am not afraid to tell people what they need to do, because I'm strong enough to receive back whatever it is. Whatever battle I need to go in with a client, I'm going to do it, because I know I have their best interest at heart. So if I lost my train of thought there for a second, Lisa, where was I going with this? Oh, the past things. Yeah. So just going into a mindset of, you know, oh, this is the question I was going to go with, is how long did it take you to gain this weight? For most people, a long time. And if they're frustrated that they didn't lose 50 pounds in 30 days, then we got to get back on the same page, because that's not what this is about.
Yeah, and it's not realistic to do that either.
Yeah.
And you've had this, whatever has been going on has gone on for years and years and years, and you're not going to fix all your problems in a 12-week boot camp.
Yeah,
That's, I mean, you're not in it for the short-term
Yeah.
fix, which,
Yeah.
you know, I admit that I kind of went in with that idea at first because I was afraid. And, but you know, it's gonna be a lifelong thing. It's going to, you're just gonna be continually improving yourself and your body is going to adapt to these changes and you're gonna get stronger and then that just helps motivate you to continue on. And,
such good advice. And thank you for sharing that you were scared. Who isn't scared?
Yeah.
The thing that's scary is you think that MelFit is gonna remove all the things that you love, but we replace, and you think MelFit is gonna take away your fun? I'm fun. Like, I have fun, I have a full life, I have a social life, I have dessert every day, I have treats, so. And to kind of jump on what Lisa was saying about the scale, and I know Angela's new here, is when you are done, you're going to be able to list a dozen things, non-scale victories. How you feel about yourself, how you feel about yourself when you look in the mirror, how your clothes fit, how your skin looks, how your sex drive is, how your energy is, how your digestive system is, how anybody that has a health issue that's on medications, and we're gonna end with that if you're okay with sharing.
yeah,
And I mean, my gosh, you know, your greatest wealth is your health. If you can't go all in on this, then you're really missing the boat here. So who wants to answer question number 3? If you've ever been disappointed on a weight loss plan, are you ready to try something new? And Dusty says, I wasn't scared. I was so ready and I knew that it was going to change my life and save my life in so many ways. So if there's anybody on here that isn't already on MelFit, I'll wait for an answer. If you're not answering, it's probably because you're already on MelFit, and that's awesome. Okay. All right. So we're going to go on to, and I'm going to follow up with what the follow-up was on this. And if it said you had, if you said you had been disappointed, what do you need or what did you need to be different about this time and the plan you choose? And I think we can all agree a lifestyle change and a long-term health commitment. If you disagree, please type something. And Vanessa says, I agree, Dusty, every single weight loss plan except MelFit, which is life-changing. Awesome, thank you. Okay, number 4, are you a mother or a father? Are you a mother or a father? Okay. Yes, yes. Okay, mamas. If yes, who do you want to show up for as your children? And anybody can answer this. Group participation. Who do you want to show up for as your children? Who or what even? For me, I'm gonna go, okay, you got, oh, mother and soon to be Grammy. Oh yeah, Dusty, congrats. I'm gonna go while you guys are typing, and for me, I want to show up as a role model for my grandkids, my 4 grandkids, and my stepdaughters, who are basically my daughters. We've raised them since they were 4 and 5. So Angela, thank you for sharing, says, as a stay-home mom, I have the best opportunity to lead by example. If I am healthy, they will follow. If I set them up to enjoy fitness and healthy eating before they are in charge of it themselves, then they will be set up for success. If we go as a family to the Croc Center or doing home workouts, then this will be their normal and ingrained in them, priming from adulthood. I agree with that 100%. And I don't know if anybody has ever met little kids that eat like us. It's because of their parents. If little kids are eating processed foods, we are the ones to blame. Dusty says the best healthy version, and yes, role model. Vanessa says, grandbaby kids, I moved my son last week, did 29 flights of stairs, told my son I would not have been able to go up the stairs hardly once. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. And again, there's a non-scale victory for you. I mean, the simple things in life, just doing the things you need to do as a mother, help your children move. What a great testimony. Dusty says, I want my son to be proud of his mom, that I don't back down and strive to be the best in everything she does. One thing that I'm gonna tell anybody on here who is losing weight or is at their goal weight, whether you're on your journey of losing weight or you're at your goal weight, I always try to turn a negative into a positive. So I actually leverage negativity and I leverage trauma and I leverage pain. I don't know what else to do with it, but turn it into a positive because I am a positive person. So I know for a fact that when people aren't doing anything about their own personal health and wellness and fitness situation, and they see somebody that they know, or maybe you are in their peer group, lose weight, most people feel threatened and they feel pressured that because you did it, they have to do it. And I know for a fact that a lot of people have said behind my back, and again, I am in such a good headspace right now, you cannot hurt me. You could say it to my face, you could type it on here, you will not hurt me. I'm doing the work on myself and personal development, which is so important if you haven't done it. And people will say, I bet she's gonna gain her weight back. Well, it's been 20 years. I leverage that. Watch me. You want to watch me fail? Get the popcorn, people. If you are losing weight, you've lost weight like Lisa, or you're at your goal weight for over 20 years like me, use it as leverage. Don't ever let anybody see you fail. Use that as the push that you need every day, that you don't want to see that person that you see once a year. You don't want to see them a year from now and know that more than likely they probably said, you want to show up strong and fierce, and you want to be able to say, oh, I can't wait to see my girlfriend Joe. She's going to die because not only have I maintained, I lost my more pounds.
Yeah.
It is awesome. So hope you guys use that, turning a negative into a positive. What else do we got? I want my son to be proud of his mom. Okay, read that. Vanessa says, I want to make my hubby and kids be proud of me. Amen. Awesome. Cool. Great.
Well,
Okay.
also, I would like to just add that,
Anytime.
just like,
Anytime.
yes, you want people to be proud of you, other people in your family, and that's important too, but really, you want to be proud of yourself and how you feel.
Yeah.
I mean, you really have to want to do it for yourself as much as for anybody else in your life.
I agree. You know, people feel so guilty, even as mothers. I'm gonna direct this towards Angela Nelson. My gosh, if you don't take care of you, how can you take care of those beautiful babies? It's okay to put yourself first. If you can give yourself 25 minutes to get yourself a workout and your own sanity, and then knowing that you've got your healthy food, I mean, it's gonna, you know, roll over to everybody that comes in contact with you. So, the question number 5 was, are you doing this now? So that would be a yes or no. Are you doing this now? Are you showing up for your children as the person you want to be? So what's your answer?
On whether I'm doing it now. I'm showing, I mean, I have to show up not only for my family and for my friends, but I have clients that I have to show up for and be, you know, do the best job that I can for them to help them with their various problems and issues so that a lot of times I have people call me and I'll answer the phone and people will call me and say, I'll say, how are you doing? And they're like, oh, I would be better if I didn't have to call you today. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. Tell me what's going on. Aren't you glad that I'm here to help you? So,
So
that's where
you're turning a
yeah,
negative into a positive.
we're
I
just
love
like,
that.
okay, I'm sorry that you feel sad you had to call a lawyer today, but you
Yeah.
called me because you need some help, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm here for.
That's great. Do you feel like in the last, 10-ish weeks, I think, right? Do you feel like you're showing up differently in your workplace?
I think so because it's just part of being on MelFit is helping you to build a better version of yourself. And so all these things, little things that you're learning over, the 10 weeks, it just like builds up. And so it's helping you to learn what you're doing differently and what's working for you, doing things differently. And I mean, before I started this process, I knew that you always have to be trying something. And the same things aren't gonna always work, but as soon as you stop doing anything to change, that's never gonna work for you. I've never ever heard anybody working on anything, lifestyle goals, weight loss, whatever, say, yep, I just gave up and sat down and gave up and that solved the problem. That doesn't happen. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. So sometimes people will have great results, not very often, and they'll be like, oh, well, I'm canceling my app, and I'm thinking, I'm so confused. I'm reading your questionnaire. You lost 30 pounds. You've tried all the shiny objects. You had great results on my plan, and you want to know what was missing? They had not worked on the mindset of if it's working, why would you not continue? Why would you stop doing something that's working for you? So Melanie, I'm calling you out, my twin sister Mel. Number 6, start typing. What does your future self 1 year from now look like, feel like, speak like, and act like? And anybody can answer this. I agree. I'm not stopping MelFit. Thanks, Dusty. Yeah, I mean, my gosh, I mean, you've been, in a fog for years and low energy and it's keeping you from the things you want to do in life. And you had a result. I scratched my head at that, but I will tell you, most of those people do come back. Dusty says being confident in everything I do. I'm assuming my twin sister Melanie is typing. And I'm gonna say this question one more time, just in case anybody doesn't have the printed version in front of them. What does your future self 1 year from now look like, feel like, speak like, and act like? So I'll give you guys a second to answer. Are you able to type, Josh?
Yeah.
You are? Oh, Melanie answered, yay. More fit and confident. 50 is around the corner. We're gonna be 50 this year. My woo-mate, my twin, my woo-mate. I love your goals, Mel. I love it, love it, love it. Thanks for typing. Angela says 1 year from now, I am in a routine of clean eating and working out. I am actually swimming in a swimsuit. I love it. Thanks for sharing. I have so many plans and goals. Me too, 50. Dusty's going to be 52. Vanessa says I'm going to be at a goal weight and more active, not stopping. Yes, you will be. Andrea says, look leaner and healthier. Speak. Stop being so hard on yourself. You are worthy of all the things now. Act, active, happy, and positive. Love it. Oh, cool. Josh is putting my attendees. Love it. Awesome. Thank you guys for answering. Okay, number 7. And I think this is what I'm learning. I hired 4 coaches in the last 4 months, and I'm writing a book, so you guys are going to hear about this. I have had the most transformative 4 months of my life. More has happened in the last 4 months than my whole existence. And I have to tell you, the reason that I wrote this question, I'm going to say it and then I'll follow up, is what are 3 specific goals you would like to achieve? Okay. So this is what I learned in my coaching group is sometimes having a goal that's vague. You know, Lisa can probably attest to this when somebody calls and they might say a sentence and it's really vague. And then Lisa has to go in and say, Jane, what specifically are you hiring me for? And what would you like to accomplish? Okay. So Melanie says be better at time management. Okay. So I'm going to use Andrea for example. So an example of 3 specific goals would be, so if she said, I'm just gonna throw these out there. So if somebody said, I want to lose weight, a specific goal would be, I want to lose 30 pounds, okay? If somebody said, I want to stop being negative, then a specific goal would be, I want to turn all negative thoughts into positive thoughts or something like that. So yeah, there you go. You guys got it. So lose 25 pounds to start. That's specific, Andrea says. Listen to health wellness podcasts at least 2 times a month. We have a lot of them. MelFit, page 2, swipe on the app. Weight train 3 times a day. Water class, 5 days. Okay, that's great. I love that, you guys. And I don't know if you guys have the room, but you can get on Amazon and you can actually buy a calendar for your whole year, which when you look at what you're going to do a year at a glance, it's a game changer. If you want the link for that, we'll put that on there. So yes, having specific goals are really important and not being vague. Vanessa says, ready for retirement, more organization, lose 50 more pounds. Okay. So we're going to take it a step further. I don't want to miss Dusty's here. Dusty says, coaching MelFit, being successful with horses and financial relief. Oh yeah. Time management would be good. Okay. Okay, just don't want to miss anybody. Thanks, everyone. Okay, so we're going to take this a step further, and we're going to, from there, we're going to go to, do you have a plan to achieve all 3 goals? Okay, so I'm going to address Melanie's time management, and this is something that I just downloaded, and I'm super excited about it. And it's an app called Time Finder, and it was reasonable. It's not free, and it's got your whole day, and it's color blocking. Okay, so I've already established color blocking, and for me, the color that correlates with the activity is easier for me to relate to. So I start my day in the blue color. And when I think of blue, I think of calm and oceans. So that would mean in the morning, no phones, no social media posts, me, myself, and me, reading my Bible, meditating, journaling, whatever I want to do, drinking my coffee and just being alone with my thoughts. That's blue. Okay. The next color block for my day, and then the color would go with the time. So let's say from 5:30 to 6, it's blue. So in that 30 minutes, I know what's happening. So then I'm going to go, if the weather's nice, I'm going to go into the red zone, which means heart and blood and flow and cardiovascular. And that's going to be where I would go walk Oscar. So that would be a time block for that color. Then I would go into a work zone, which would be MelFit, which my color, if you've never looked up what purple means, there's a lot of meaning to this color. I thought about what color would represent MelFit. And so anything purple would fall into the time slot that I work on MelFit. I'm also writing a book. And to me, that means like deep thinking, and that's green. That's go. So if I have 2:30 to 3:30 where I'm writing in my book, for me, that's total flow state. And I need to probably, because I like to talk to Josh, he doesn't interrupt me. So it would probably be when Josh has already left and I'm just alone. And I know that nobody's coming. I don't have any sales calls. No one's coming by for any appointments. So that is green. Then I go back into red one more time. I love my steps. I love to eat. So I like to make sure I get enough activity. I don't ever take food away from people. I only increase your activity. And then I would go into red, which would mean I walk again. And if you think you need to run or do the stair climber for an hour, you don't. My sister and I are both very lean and we walk. I used to be a marathoner and I am a marathon coach and triathlon coach, but you really don't need to do it. If you want to do it because you like it, fine. More likely than not, over 40, it really spikes your cortisol levels and will slow down your results. When you're walking, you're in the fat burning zone. When you're running, you're in the cardio zone. Okay. So then I would end in what color? Blue, baby. Blue. Me. Familia. Doggy. I know some people think I'm a robot, but I do have a life. My husband, when you're married to a high performer like me, you long for the blue time. The time that I don't have my head somewhere else. And you should write this down, be where your feet are. I've really been embracing the be where your feet are. Do I have things to do today? Yes. But I want to be right here with Lisa, right here with you guys, and I want to pour all my energy into you. Be where your feet are. If you're not ready to take on this information and pay attention and be here, don't turn this video on. So be where your feet are, okay? Josh put that calendar on there for you guys. It's really cool if you have space. Andrea says, have to jump on a work call. She says, MelFit meals, food prep, MelFit podcast, Mel Robbins, 3 weights, just get up and do it. Stop thinking about it. So, okay, love it. So I love your idea. This is a great idea. So what I'm doing is by downloading this app, you guys, and I have a note, I just found this recently. I have a note to go in and implement my already wonderful idea of color blocking, time blocking into this. And guess what? They have color blocking features. So you can pick and it'll all fit in. Plus it will alert me and I know this sounds silly, you guys, but you can go down a rabbit hole in the morning if you get on your phone or social media. So if you want to give yourself 30 minutes on social media, you can set a timer and it'll come on. So I love your feedback, you guys, and I hope that you are kind of getting what I'm laying down about a goal without a plan is just a dream. So be specific and create actionable steps to accomplish these things. Don't just be saying in December of 2024 that you still want to work on your time management skills. Figure out how to work on your time management skills. Put in systems and processes and put the reps in and be consistent with it. Okay, so number 7. Oh no, did we do 7? Yeah, we did 7. Number 8. Do you think that you can't afford to become your best self in 2024? Do you think you can't afford to become your best self in 2024? Can anybody answer this? If you can't answer that, it's okay. It means you've already invested in yourself. You've already prioritized yourself. You've already looked at your finances and figured out how you can make MelFit if you're on MelFit. And you can do any plan, but have you set aside some of your income for your health? So if the answer is no, then it's a limiting belief, and it's something that you can work on. It's something that I can help you with. And what you're really going to have to do is do the work on looking into what are you spending money on now that's not pushing the needle of your health forward. If it's processed foods, if it's subscriptions, there's probably quite a few things in your life right now that you could eliminate that will allow you to afford to become your best self. I'm teaching people this year to be okay with talking about money. It doesn't have to be taboo. If you would tell me, I don't think I can afford to work with you, I'm going to teach you how to find the money to hire me. I don't have any limiting beliefs for anybody watching this now or later that you can't afford to invest in your health. Dusty says, I love your ideas. I will always afford me now, forever and always. You could even sell your clothes to, there you go, Beaumonde. I was at the lowest of low and as broke as can be, and put me first. Best decision ever, yeah. And it's funny, you guys, because if you got on a sales call with me, I'm not on that call to figure out how you can line my pockets. I'm on that call to help you figure out how you can survive, how you can be healthy. And what's going to kill you is not trying to figure this out. If you're 30 and you think it's bad now, wait till you're 40, wait till you're 50, and wait till you're 60.
Yeah.
If you don't write the check now, you're going to be writing the check later. Okay, because you're going to have to spend money on all the things to fix your health, and it's really going to be bad. So don't be afraid to write the checks. Angela says there's a payment plan option, but of course, buy your course that I use. Thank you, Angela. So yeah, and I say this wholeheartedly as a person who grew up in poverty. I had no money for education. I have a 10th grade education, and I've accomplished quite a bit for myself. So if I can find that money for myself, I can find that money for you. So it all starts with believing that you can have it and you can figure out how to work it into your budget. And honestly, the top tier of where your money goes is probably going to be housing.
Yeah.
What do you think the second tier should be, Lisa?
Well, the second tier is it should be probably health or something else that goes with your long-term
Yeah.
goals.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of, I mean, that's one thing since I started on MelFit, like, you don't realize like how much money you were spending getting a Starbucks because you wanted to get the pretty cup, or it was the seasonal drink, or, you know, going to fast food or not, you know, having something, coming home and eating something that wasn't good for you because you hadn't had time or the energy to fix something else. So there's a lot of things that when you think about it, that you just do automatically that you might not need.
Yeah, agreed. And the one thing that most people that complete our programs will tell you they're saving money because they're not wasting. I was the person that would go get a bunch of healthy food with the intention of cooking it and throw half of it away. I know exactly what my food budget is. And I only have my one free day, which I'll do avocado toast with salmon, Canadian bacon or bacon. Usually throw together some kind of a salad, and usually we have a date night, or I'll do a green smoothie. So I know exactly what my food budget is. And if you were getting coffee, eating out, processed food, or whatever, you're gonna save money. Dusty says, when people say eating healthy food is expensive, I tell them, how much does it cost when you go out to eat? How many times do you eat out or fast food? So true.
Yep, or how
True,
many,
true.
sorry,
Go ahead.
or how many times, I mean, how expensive is it? When you get sick and you can't, it may or may not be fixable, and you're gonna lose more than dollars and cents.
Yeah, for sure. So how I broke this down, if you're watching this now or at a later date, is list 5 things you are spending money on that aren't, I guess I shouldn't be, that isn't driving, I put aren't, because that my grammar was horrible there, Lisa. How'd you let me do that? Hashtag not perfect. That isn't driving the needle of your health forward. And I honestly think that just be really transparent and write it down, even if you're already on your health journey. Is there still some vices in there? Do we still have some things that could go bye-bye? So I can afford to go get a coffee every day, but I don't, mostly because I want to control the ingredients, okay? So I just put examples: processed foods, subscriptions, TV, eating out, wasting food, gym memberships. You don't need a $50 gym membership. You got MelFit. Cost you $1 a day. So number 9, and anybody can answer this. Vanessa says, I think about what if you get sick? Very expensive. Yeah. What if you had to pay a caretaker to come and take care of you? Okay. Number 9, do you believe you can find the money to be your best self? That's a simple yes or no. Do you think you can find the money to be your best self? I hope that most of you would answer yes. Vanessa says yes. If no, this is the easiest time in history to work, make money, and become a millionaire. Okay. Dusty says absolutely. Melanie says yes. Why do I feel like this is the easiest time in history to work, make money, and become a millionaire? Because of what happened during COVID, all of the handouts that the government gave, I feel like people were, what's the word I want to use? Conditioned to push the easy button. Are you kidding me right now? Like, disturbing to me as an entrepreneur and a business owner, that people were just checking their mailbox and, like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to get too political with you guys, but really, I've never asked anybody in my life for $1, and I won't. And I'll help any of you guys. It's easy to get a job because people don't want to work. You can stand out and you can shine because no one wants to do it. Also, as a digital nomad who can work anywhere in the world, if I'm not a perfect example of somebody who started with nothing and created an empire, then I don't know what is. Who is? Like, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And that's honestly my mission with my MelFit 365 program, because there is a wealth component, is to help you guys figure out what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and how we can take these and create an empire for you, working at a career that you love, not working at the post office for 30 years and retiring with a card and a cake And the day after you retire, nobody even remembers who you are, okay? So we want to leave a legacy. So I put examples, most popular plan is $45 a week. Things that you can do, Instacart, Uber Eats, babysit, house sit, dog sit, extra hours at work, side hustle. So my goodness, you can make 45. Hi, Jean, we see you. You can make $45 a week, you know, walking dogs in your neighborhood. So hopefully you guys are in agreement with this. Vanessa says very disturbing. Melanie says yes, absolutely. Angela Nelson says, in my opinion, it's one of the good things to come from the lockdown. We all learned how to use the digital world. Yep, and Dusty says you can give blood and plasma, so that's great. So awesome, you guys. I love it that everybody, I mean, honestly, I was busier than ever during COVID. And I think also bringing people into MelFit, working out on my app, it made them realize that was $50 that they weren't at their goal weight, they weren't being pushed. The gym, the people that own the gym weren't teaching them how to eat right, okay? So for $30, what can you get? You can get recipes, you can get the workouts. So love it, you guys. Number 10, my question was, do you want more energy? Do you want more energy?
It's like, who doesn't?
Yeah. Vanessa says, I'd rather work at home. Yes or no? I see a yes. If you had more energy, what would you do with it? If you had more energy, what would you do with it? You guys feel free to type. Where I'm getting with this, you guys, when I take my sales calls, almost every single person I speak to says, I just want my energy back. I don't have the energy to do a plan. I don't have the energy to work out. I don't have the energy to have sex with my spouse or partner. I don't have the energy for my business. I am walking around in a fog and I am not getting anything accomplished. My time management skills are horrible and I'm just muddling through my day. Angela says, experience more of life, play more with my kids, work out more, take up dancing, get more of the things I need done. Yeah, and honestly, if I could tell you that the best gift I could give you is your energy back. After people get done with a program, that's usually what they say. I have so much energy. I don't have to force myself to work out. I don't have to force myself to play with my kids. And I'm doing so many more things than I used to. So do you have more energy, Lisa?
I definitely have more energy, and as I was going to work this morning, I was carrying up the stairs. My office is on the 3rd floor, so I have to walk up several flights of stairs to get there. I had a 12-pack of the Zevia cola that you recommended to help get me to get rid of my Diet Coke habit. And I was carrying that up the stairs and I was thinking, this is probably about as much weight as I have lost since I started MelFit.
That's awesome.
And it's like, you know, it's not hard to carry it up the stairs, but how nice is it to get to the office and put this down?
Yeah.
And spend the rest of my time without that.
Yeah.
I've left that behind.
I love it. Angela said, okay, I read hers. Dusty says, I have more energy than ever since MelFit. I feel strong again. I feel my youth is back. Yeah. It's called the glow up, aging backwards. I have way more energy. I want to ask Lisa this question. Do you think having more energy can help you make more money?
Well, I absolutely. I think it can help you make better choices. I think that's a lot of part of energy is, you know, like I think I've read that people make like 10,000 decisions in a day. And if you're going to be making all those decisions and things, I mean, your energy is finite and you're going to start making poor choices when you're tired and don't have the energy. So, and I think it does help you because then maybe you do say, like, in my case, it'd be like, well, yeah, I can probably fit that person in, or luckily at this point in time, I have really good energy, and I also have a lot of clients and a lot of stuff going on, so I've been having to tell people, I hope you can wait for a few weeks, because that's, otherwise I'm not gonna be able to help
A
you.
waiting list.
Yeah,
Good
it's
thing.
nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I put, if you want more energy, what would that mean to you and how would it affect your life? I think it's everything. I think energy is the gateway drug. I have a lot of gateway drugs, and energy is the gateway drug. Health and fitness is the gateway drug, and energy is a result of that. I mean, if we could bottle it and sell it, we'd all be billionaires,
That's
okay? It's what most people in America are lacking. And if you don't know the statistics, 73% of our nation is overweight or obese. 27%, right here, baby, you're sitting with them. 27%, and you watching, who are actually waking up every day and giving a crap about what they drink, what they eat, who they're around, what they consume. That's all super, super important. Vanessa says way more energy is, no, Zevia is for every day, Angela, and also hum kombucha zero every day. Any bubbly, any carbonated beverage with zero sugar, zero carbohydrates, sweetened with stevia or monk fruit, is a-okay. We doing good on time still, Josh?
Sure.
Yeah, we're doing good. Okay, awesome. Love this participation. Number 11, do you believe that health and wellness is the answer to your problems? Angela goes, I just audibly boo-hoo. So do you believe health and wellness is the answer to your problems? I get a lot of yeses. I'm gonna share something on this one. When I was 27 years old, I opened up my first business, and the first year I gained so much weight, and it was supposed to be the best time of my life. I wasn't waiting tables anymore. I worked in restaurants, and I was basically that person that was managing but never got paid for it. Have you ever been there? Yeah, that was me. I did everything. So it was supposed to be the best time in my life. I was making amazing money. We opened coffee stands and we were successful from the day we opened. We were, 3 deep on each side. We were making great money. The sucker was a cash cow. We still own the land and it's still a successful business. I was so unhappy. I was hiding in the back. I was hiding behind baggy clothes at a time where I should have been saying who I was and introducing myself to the community. I was dead inside. I thought my husband was cheating on me. I wasn't working out. I felt like crap because I was eating like crap. We were working 80 hours a week. We didn't have time for anything at one point, and I despise paper plates. At one point, I bought paper plates because there were so many dishes in my sink, I actually threw them away because they were so disgustingly stinky and moldy. It was awful. We didn't have time to do our own laundry. Like, all we knew, we had no employees. All we knew was work. So just because everything seems to be going right in your life, especially if you're financially successful, that doesn't mean you're in a good space, in a good spot, the space in between your own ears. So, for me, I would say yes, hands down. When I am my healthiest, I am at my best. Everything in my life is going well because of that. So yes, love that everybody's a guest. If no, what problem do you think having health and wellness won't solve? So what I always say is I can turn a negative, it's called a negative positive. If you were actually on here and you said no, I could probably sway you the other way. I'm pretty pretty persuasive when it comes to that. And it's only because of my experience with myself and people. Like, you don't think I had a bad attitude when I was 27 and I was miserable? Oh, I was pretty darn negative. Biggest and most important question to answer. Number 12. What will happen if you don't take action and you are sitting in this same spot next year? So if you are taking action, Dusty says I would feel defeated. You can even answer this. If you are taking action and you want to give advice to someone who is fearful that they'll quit, who's fearful that they won't follow through, that's fearful that they can't even get themselves to start. Vanessa says, I will die and be sick if I gave up. Angela Nelson says, I don't even like considering it. Worst case scenario, I would likely feel depressed and like I am missing out on so much in life. I would have a lot of regret and possibly more health issues. Thank you, everyone. So I'm gonna end this with Lisa. And also we're gonna kind of go into the health question I want to answer. So Lisa, what will happen if you don't take action and you are sitting in the same spot next year? And if you don't feel like that pertains to you, what advice can you give?
Well, what I said, my answer was that nothing good would happen if I didn't do anything and take any action. And then I said, and that's not an option. Because that is one thing that I have learned along my life, is that doing nothing is never the right answer. And so it doesn't have to be everything. You can even just do it for like a minute at a time, if that's how far you have to break it down. That, you know, you have to, in this world to succeed, you have to adapt. And that's really, if you don't learn how to do that, you're going to be left behind, because you're going to have different things thrown at you all the time. So that's, I definitely don't, I mean, in a lot of my life, I will be the same, but, after going through MelFit, you know, next year, I know I'm going to feel happier. I'm going to have more energy. I'm going to be healthier. I'm going to hopefully have some of my autoimmune issues tamed down some more. And it's actually something that I'm looking forward to and that I'm excited about, you know, having these changes and going through this process.
I love that. Such good advice. So I want to ask you, I know you're in a good mindset. Okay, 2 questions. One, how much of it is mindset? How much of this health and wellness journey is mindset?
Probably like 90% of it.
Yeah, I love that answer.
I think it's, if you cannot get the mindset part down and be able to go through the ups and downs of the process, and you can't figure out other ways to make yourself feel like you were successful, like, I, you know, had to take some antibiotics and things that slowed me down, affected my gut biome. And so instead of boo-hooing that I wasn't losing as much weight as I did when I first started the program, it was like, well, what else is good about this process? Mm-hmm. Oh, my pants are looser. I can pull them up more. I had my annual visit with my doctor. I had my protein had increased. My cholesterol had all stayed the same because I had been a little worried about, you know, emphasizing more protein. If that was going to help those numbers, they were better than ever. And just having, you know, other ways to measure your success besides just that stupid number on that device. That's just a little point of data. You really have to consider everything.
Yeah, I love that. And I will tell you, Lisa's the prime example of negative positive. This is a terminology that I've just learned in the last 4 months in my coaching group. And I'm going to tell you what, Lisa fesses up and it's always negative to the positive, not necessarily negative, but she talks about something that didn't go well. And then at the end, if I could go back and post these, at the end of every negative is a positive. And I think that's where people are really missing the boat. You know, it's like, okay, let's say your sales, your financial goal for the year was $50,000 and you were 10,000 shy of hitting it and you just crumbled and I'm just gonna give up, I'm a total failure. Well, how we would turn that into a positive is, you made $40,000. I mean, my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, let's just, so I feel like a lot of people on MelFit really struggle with this because yes, you are checking in and you're turning in your weight, but it's just one data source that we use. What I'm really looking for when I'm doing your check-in, more so than anything, is your mindset. Where are you? How are you? How can we help? And if you are going off on a negative tangent, this one client, and she'll probably tell you who she is, I said to her, and again, I'm not a soft coach, not warm and fuzzy, that's not why you hired me. You didn't write the check to hire the coach that you've had in the past, because obviously it didn't work. I'm gonna tell you that until you can start to change your attitude towards my program and your attitude towards you receiving this, and that's what people have a hard time with, is they don't believe that they can have it. And when it's coming and they're getting closer, they almost freak out and they almost can't accept that this is working because all they've ever done is fail. So I work a lot on mindset and I'm okay with negativity. I was negative before too, but can we look at other data points besides the fact that you didn't lose any weight this week? So I love that. Yeah, every single time. Oh, yep, maybe I gained 6 pounds at Disneyland, but I felt good. I felt good when I walked around and I enjoyed myself. And we're not trying to take your life from you. You'll see that I drink a little bit of alcohol. We had our employee party at Satay. I had bread. I had a little cheesecake. I had an entree that I enjoyed. But what else did I do that day? I got my steps in. I got my workout in and I got right back on track the next day. So it's not 7 days. So thank you for sharing. So the other question I wanted to ask you, Lisa, is although you're in a good headspace right now, I feel your energy. Do you feel like something keeps stepping in? Do you feel like there's still some kind of roadblock or fear, or do you feel like you've done the work? Like, do you, I mean, sometimes I call it imposter syndrome, you know, like your mind goes back to your thoughts.
Yeah, as far as like the imposter syndrome thing, I mean, sometimes, fake it till you make it does work, in some areas. And, I still feel like I can put more into what I'm doing with the program, because when I do check in with you and I am honest, but you'll say like, have you given it 100%? And I think maybe 95 was the best I ever had. I think last week I'm like, it's about 80. And, so that's an area that I know that I need to improve on. And like, I have a bit of a psychological block right now about the weight number that I'm at, and worrying about being stuck. And, when we talked about it, then, we basically worked out that we're not going to worry about where you are now, and you're not going to worry about where you are later. You're just going to shoot past that Because it's just a psychological, I mean, it's just a fake stop sign in your mind. It's your mind, take that stop sign away. And, so I think it's as much of a learning process too, about like, hey, am I really doing this, or is there, places that I can do even better? And I think it's just some of it is too, I feel like this first 12 weeks is that I've spent a lot of time. I remember that meme or the picture that you had posted, that I spent a lot of time like, and we're definitely not in my comfort zone anymore. And I was in the like fear and resistance and opinions part. And now I've gradually worked my way to where now I'm learning and I'm doing and I'm reaping the benefits from doing this so that I can move to the next circle where I'll be enjoying all my hard work.
Yeah, I get that. And I understand with people that they're fearful, especially if they failed on things. And I understand that there's a trust component, I do. So yeah, I love your transparency. So it's been fun watching you grow, as I read every week.
Yeah, well, and it's been fun because this is one thing that, I have not ever done a program that is what I really thought I needed. Was my next step was improving my nutrition. And instead of just like having a budget and eating whatever you want, to still just eat less and that kind of thing. And I think it's really helped me to learn like, yeah, you really do feel better if you're not doing this. And that, having my protein go up, that was like huge. Because I've always felt I'm a little bit behind the 8 ball on protein, and that makes a big difference in your metabolism and how your body works.
And building muscle.
And building muscle.
How are we doing on time, Josh?
We're at 93 minutes.
Okay, and we have how many?
21,
Okay,
20, 26 minutes.
okay, all right. So I want to encourage anybody on here. We've got a little bit of time left. We might go the whole way. We might wrap up early, but oh, Dusty says, I thought my metabolism was broken. Is there any questions? Anybody want to ask a question? Is there anything that you want to share? Have you been kind of listening to this and thought, oh my gosh, I really want to share this? But one thing that I'm learning in my coaching group, and at first when I heard this, I thought it sounded really morbid, is we actually start with death and work backwards. And it's freeing because if you start to get into the mindset every day that there is birth and that there is death, and you never know when your last day on this earth is. Supposedly there's no cure for cancer, but I think that's bullshit. But what are we going to do if we get cancer? So I use that as a tool every day. And a couple things that I do is I ask my 99-year-old self what she would do. If I got an opportunity to go to Cabo San Lucas to my girlfriend's house that she just built a house there, what would my 99-year-old self do? Would my 99-year-old self say, oh, I'm sorry, Nancy, I can't go because I can't work? Well, no, I'm a digital nomad. Yeah, you bet your bet. So another thing that I do is, if tomorrow is never promised, why are we so hesitant to speak freely? If tomorrow is never promised, why can't we be vulnerable? And I will tell you, knowing that I have this mindset, please be vulnerable with me, okay? The reason that I have made such a huge transformation in the last 4 months, and I'm going to share it with you guys, is because I was finally vulnerable. I finally allowed myself to talk about the ugly truth. And once you do that, it's free. And my coach says you can only go as high as your lowest low. And that's what MelFit is all about, is be transparent. There is not one person watching this now, watching this later, or in my MelFit army. In 4 years, I have not 86 anyone. I attract the good people. We are kind, we are supportive, we are genuine, and we are transparent. And no matter how ugly you think that comment that you're gonna put it on there is, someone is gonna fix your crown. Someone's gonna lift you up, and someone's gonna share a story with you that's gonna make you not feel so alone. So if there's something that's weighing heavy on your mind or on your heart, please feel free to share it. But the one thing I want to read is the mindset quote, and it's the driving force in the quest for success and achievement. Okay, so this is the definition of mindset. The driving force in the quest for success and achievement. A mindset that combines discipline, strength, confidence, and ambition is a powerful mindset. This can achieve anything it sets its sights on. A powerful mind can achieve anything. Okay, sorry, Lisa. Oscar, sorry, for real. My dog's here. Hope you're an avid dog lover. So, I honestly think that that's what everything comes down to is mindset. If somebody came to me and they said, I don't think I can do this, well, you're probably right. If you don't think you can, you probably can't, and this probably isn't a good time for us to work together. If you think you can, woo! So I always tell people there's a difference between cocky and confident. I'm confident, okay? I'm confident because I've done the things to become confident. And as a high performer, what really helps me, and it might help you as well, is I speak things out loud and I manifest things. I don't use doubtful words. Like, I think next December 31st, I will have hit this financial goal. I know by December 31st next year, I will have hit this financial goal. So it's all mindset. I hope, no, I know, I don't use the word I hope, but also I have energy to take the actionable steps to get there. I think the one thing I will tell you guys is getting your time management skills together are really going to help you in your personal life, because so many people think, how can I fit this? Okay, we're good now, Josh. Thank you so much. How can I fit 25 minutes of 25-minute workout in? Can you repeat one more time? I thought we were supposed to be here for each other and fix each other's crown. I feel like God wants us to do this. That's awesome. Can you repeat one more time? Dusty, did you mean repeat mindset? If so, I'll read that again, but let me know what specifically you meant. But okay, yeah. So it's the driving force in the quest for success and achievement. A mindset that combines discipline, strength, confidence, and ambition is a powerful mindset. This can achieve anything it sets its sights on. A powerful mind can achieve anything. And another tool that I use, you guys, is a negative positive. Do you know? Okay, I'm going to tell you guys this quick story. We have time, right, Josh? I really want to work with people for a whole year on my MelFit 365 program this year. No, let me rephrase that. I will work with clients on my MelFit 365 program this year, and I will be speaking on stages all over the world. Do you doubt that? If the answer is yes, I don't care. Like, I actually am okay with people that doubt me, because that's helped me achieve what I have today, because I've used that as leverage. I'm gonna tell you a quick story. When I was 27 years old, I borrowed $30,000 on a credit card to open up my first coffee stand. Vanessa says, no doubt, thank you. And my husband and I were getting the lot ready. And a woman and her husband, mind you, I'm gonna be 50 this year. How long ago was that? The things we remember. A man and a woman pulled their car over and walked over to me, and the woman said, "Do you really think you are going to make it on this corner?" Woo! Oh, no, you didn't. What do you think I said?
Watch.
I said, we're certainly gonna try. Mostly now, I probably wouldn't say anything. I'd just show you. Being silent and not barking is a good quality, because most of the people that you bark at are not worth your time. So that's a quality, I don't know what I want to say. I've worked on a habit or a trait, character trait. Okay. So I wonder how she lies seeing your billboard now. Yeah. So this is a story I'm going to tell on every stage that I speak on. Is every time I open that window, that woman was in my mind. Do you really think you're going to make it? To that woman that doubted me, that had the audacity to pull her car over and push her negative projections on me, not only did I make it, now I own half of the street in real estate. And I'm building an empire on those properties. So take that, lady. What do you take from her comment? Did it have anything to do with me?
Nope.
Never does, you guys. If you can always remember that, don't ever take it personally. It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with their own insecurities. Where do you think a woman, do you think I'm special? Do you think I'm the only one that she projected her negative word vomit onto? Oh no, I'm not special. Where is that woman today? So the moral of the story is negative, positive. You can turn any negative into a positive and leverage it. And I actually, honestly, I'm really not spun by negativity. Somebody got on my social media a couple of years ago and told me that 40, well, I was probably 47, a 47-year-old woman should not look like she was 20. And she thought that was gonna offend me. I thought it was a compliment. I was like, and what else what do you got? You like can't hurt me. And then also she went on to say, I'm not overweight and neither is my daughter. And again, I never reached out to this person. I never said, it was her own insecurities because she saw that I had reached my goal weight. So anyways, you guys get it. So just leverage that. So I think that I would be doing the world a disservice by not teaching them what goes on in here. What do I say to myself every single day when I get up? Working out, me getting my workout in and me walking that dog who is going to be 9 and I don't know how much life he has left and he looks forward to his walks, it's a non-negotiable, okay? So when you get to the point where you have non-negotiables, you're winning. You have non-negotiables?
Yep, I definitely do, and it's kind of the same thing, most of it does relate to like family things, and of course. I have, work responsibilities, but it's more like, nope, I don't do that anymore, that's not part of what I do. And it kind of reminds me of, neuroplasticity, where you actually have to like train your brain will just think the same way it always does, it just goes from the path of least resistance. And you have to make a little bit of effort to move that marble to go into like a different pathway, so you're not reliving the past. You're like where your feet are, you're not worried about what's gonna happen in
Yeah.
a week, or what happened that can never be changed, that you are just where you are now.
So if you guys can, how much time do you have left, Josh?
13 minutes.
Okay, if you guys can maybe type some takeaways from that you got from this webinar. Some things that, one thing my coach always says is do something with it. So what's a takeaway and something that you're gonna do? If you typed it, like, own it. What is a takeaway from this that you're going to create an actionable step with? One thing I wanted to touch on too, you guys, if you're, probably maybe this might, Angela might be able to benefit from this, is always know when you are walking into a social event, you almost have to prepare yourself for battle, because you're in the 27th percentile of the people that give a crap about what they're gonna eat, how they're gonna act, who they're gonna show up as, what they're gonna drink, okay? So what I mean by that is prepare yourself for negativity. Prepare yourself for the comments like, oh, I suppose you're not gonna have that because you're on the diet. Re-educate these morons about what it is you're doing and why you're doing it. And maybe you turn it around on them and ask them why they're not concerned about their health, okay? I am so tired of being picked on at a party. I literally, that's one thing I will do when they say, why are you eating that? I'll say, why are you not? And I'll directly say, sorry, Lisa. Oscar's I'll directly say, are you at your goal weight? Are you happy with yourself now? If the answer is no, why aren't you following me around the buffet and eating everything that I'm eating? Like, let's just be real here. So prepare yourself for battle, because when you are winning and other people aren't, they will not clap for you if they haven't found that for themselves. So be prepared to stand tall and convicted in what it is you're doing and your journey. Don't back down. If you believe in it, own it. Don't back down from it. Don't act like you're ashamed. Don't hide your food. Just show up. This is what I brought. I'm not inconveniencing any of you. You don't have to make a special meal for me, but I wanted to ensure that I have the food that I need to fuel my body. And I also brought my own beverage. If you're offended by that, it's on you. So you should thank me. Otherwise, I'd be sitting here eating and drinking nothing. So Dusty says the mindset quest, and Vanessa says, okay, so that's what the takeaways and things you're gonna work on. We're good. Thank you, Josh. The mindset quest, and love it. And Vanessa says, keeping my space positive, let the negative from others roll off my back. Yeah, my friend Scotty that passed away says, be a duck, take the high road. I do it most of the time, but there are some subjects that I will not back down to. And it's usually me defending you guys and what I believe in. I will not back down from that. I bring my own stuff all the time and not offended at all. I love that. So you guys have been great. So I had a friend, we went to a really fancy dinner one time and she was getting ready for a bodybuilding show. Do you know how many people looked down on her because she brought her own food? And you know what I said to one gal, I'm like, have you ever done a health and fitness competition? No. Do you know the percentage of the world that will ever get their body lean enough to do health and fitness competition? And I think my girlfriend knew the stats. And I said, why are you picking on her? You should be commending her. You should be admiring the strength that she has to sit in this beautiful function and not partake in the lovely beverages and food. Like, I think people have it backwards, you know? They look at people that are actually taking care of themselves as like we're freaks of nature or something.
Yeah, and but like, it's like, is that a helpful comment? You should just be saying like, oh, I'm so excited for you. You're going to be doing this competition, tell me what you've been doing and why does it matter what she is eating
Yeah.
to you?
Mhm.
She wasn't saying that you have to eat it.
Yeah.
You don't have to do the same things. It's just like, you kind of just have to go to the motivation of the other person where you're just like, that's not my problem.
Yeah. It's like the old adage, is it helpful or is it hurtful?
Yeah.
So I would have to say the most powerful person in the room has these character traits. A positive mindset and confidence. Anything else?
And willingness to just keep going no matter what happens and make the best out of whatever does happen.
Yeah, I think it really scares people when they're around people like us because they feel like it's so far away. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard somebody say, I couldn't do that. I could never do that. I could never eat like that. And it's like super scary to a lot of people, so. All right, you guys, we're gonna wrap up. If anybody has any last words, type it out. Thank you for being here. If you want to share this with anyone else, we will make it really easy for you guys. We'll probably post on our Facebook group how to share it, and you will need a password, and we'll make sure you have that. Vanessa says thank you. Thank you, Lisa, for
Thank
being my
you.
guest today.
It was a lot of fun.
Yes, it was so much fun and I love being around like-minded people and thank you for your vulnerability. All the guests that were here today, we're gonna keep these webinars coming, and what I really wanna lean in on in 2024, what I will lean in on in 2024. Thanks, Mel, for being here. Thanks, Angela, Vanessa, the people that were on previously that jumped off. I want to lean into the creating the community, the events that we're doing, whether it's online or together, where this community who has the same mission to continue to just gather around each other, because you pick up the energy from the people that, like, if Lisa was sitting next to someone who wasn't walking the path, it'd be a little bit different. So she would walk in the house and the host would be offering her a dairy coffee and some crappy creamer, but she knows she's safe with me. So thanks everybody for joining. And if you're watching this at a later date, please let us know that you watch this later on. Are they able to comment later on? Probably not, but maybe jump on our Facebook Connect group. If you have any questions, anything you need to know about MelFit, let us know. And as far as finances, you can start improving your health with $1 a day or nothing. Drinking water is free. Walking is free. hanging around with like-minded people is free. So you can do it on literally no funds. So don't let those limiting beliefs stop you from your health and fitness journey. So thanks for joining us today. We'll see you guys on the next MelFit webinar. Until next time, bye-bye.